this time, we're going to start testing out our kits that I have been finding all over my city, and we're going to try out this one first. I've wanted to make a bee for a long time. I mean, there's patterns out there for bees. They're all over the place, but I wanted to try a little bee. So we're going to make a bee first. I debated between the bee and the whale. I mean, I like Kitty, the cat, but I have a couple cats, and I know how to make the cats. But I think we're gonna test out the bee first. So here's our polyfill. I'm not opening that till I need it. I know I'm gonna need these colors for the bee, right? I already know that. Okay, so let's find our hook. Hook's in here. I'm not gonna like do the whole thing with you. I'm just showing you how we're getting started here. Remember, this is a 5.5 millimeter hook, which seems appropriate for this kit, for this yarn, all that. All right, so let's get our bee pattern out here. I don't need the beginning of the book with all the stitches and, you know, how do you make this stitch, how do you do that, tips and tricks, all that stuff. Slip, not slip stitch, weaving, invisible weave, working in the round, fastening off. Oh, I might want a stitch marker out of here. Yep, it had stitch markers. I know I'm going to want one of those. Let me get one of those out. Little plastic closure, you know. Okay, I want stitch marker and way at the bottom, of course. I don't want the eyes to come out or any of the other stuff yet. Okay, there's that. Oh, plushy bee. He was the first one. Project number 1. You're going to need your yellow yarn, tells you that, your black yarn, and your white, the hook, the safety eyes, stuffing, needle, scissors. It doesn't come with scissors. Anyhow, it should be 7 centimeters when it's finished. Tells you the stitches you're going to use, which is nice. And then it jumps right into the body. Okay, so let's get to it and see how this goes. Like I said, this is definitely like a blanket yarn, which I am not a fan of. It's a texture thing for me. I don't like the texture of it. It's just kind of, it's not horrible though, but okay. Let's start following some of these directions, and I'll come back in a little bit when I get this head started, and I'll let you know how it's going, okay? All right, a couple things to note already. It did not have you start with a magic circle, which is probably a good thing because that's kind of hard to teach people sometimes. It just started with a chain 2, and then you did 8 stitches into the first chain. And now we're changing to black, and it does not tell you how to change to black. It just says when we get to round 5, change to black. So, I mean, I've been taught, you know, that you're on your last stitch in a color, which I have that on my hook, and then here comes a cat. And then you pull your new color through your last stitch. Hello, buddy. Hello. Come on. Get out of the way. You guys, this cat. I'm telling you, this cat. So you pull through your yarn on the last stitch, and then you get started with the next color. So that's just a little thing to note. All right, so here's our first situation. I have 2 stitches to go here with this black, and I have that much yarn. I don't think I can get 2 stitches in there. I might have to go back and try to tighten this up. Yeah, there's no way. There is no way I can get the last 2 stitches out of that little bit of black. So I think I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go back to where I started the black, and I'm going to just try to tighten up. I am noticing, not having used this heavy of a yarn before, it is really a lot of pressure on your thumb. It's hurting my thumb a little bit. So let me take this out, and let's try to really tighten up the black stitches so I can hopefully finish the stripes. Success. Okay, I made it around. I had that much yarn left. So, I mean, my first little take on this is they could give you more yarn for the kit, for sure. I really, really had to do this tight. I did it as tight as I could, and boy, does my thumb feel it. But I made it around. I've got my 2 stripes of black, and I don't think I need any more black. I think that's it. All right, so let's continue on with the rest of the body. Okay, time to check in. We have the bee completed. Now, a couple things. It did not tell you how many stitches to put between the eyes. So I just looked at the picture, and I just kind of looked, and I was like, okay. And then I kind of eyeballed it to figure out where the eyes should go. Okay, so there's that. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, I had a hard time with this thick yarn. Oh, the eyes, back to the eyes. Hang on, back to the eyes. I could not get these eyes in the little backs. I couldn't get them in just with my fingers. I couldn't do it. Okay, they're little tiny little backs like this. And with that plush yarn, I couldn't do it. I don't have the finger strength to do that. Dale probably could have popped them in for me, but I couldn't do it. So I had to get out my tool. I got out my tool to get the eyes in. Now I did use the little plastic needle to sew his little rumpy shut here, and it worked just fine. I think if you had to do like any more intense sewing with this, the plastic needle probably wouldn't work all that well. The polyfill is very interesting. It is really soft. These kits come with like awesome fiber fill, but it's flat. So as you take it out, you have to kind of zhuzh it. You have to break it up, you know, and make it fluffy. Otherwise, you'd just be putting like a flat sheet in there. So just a little thing to note. All right, so what are we on to now? Probably the wings. That's all we have left, right? Yeah, we got some wings to make, and we sew the wings on, and we'll have a little guy done. Now, he's very small. He's very cute. He's very little and tiny. It could almost be like a keychain, I think. You know, add a keychain on the top, which I have. I mean, this doesn't come with keychains, but I could do that. Otherwise, you just got this little itty-bitty tiny little bee. He's very cute. It took me like a half an hour to get this far, and that was with tearing out 3 or 4 rounds or whatever, because, you know, I had to tighten up the black yarn. So they're very quick to make. So let's finish the wings. All right, let me just say that the wings could have needed a little more guidance, a little more direction. There is a picture here, so it shows you how the wings should look. They're just like half double crochets, and you make like a little, you know, part circle thing there, a half circle thing. And then there's a picture here. It shows you how to attach them, but it's not very clear. It says just sew them onto the back. So I played with it for a while. Mine aren't exactly even, but that's okay. Here's his little wings. I mean, he's cute, right? He's adorable. I might give him a little smile. There is some black thread here. I might give him a little smile because I think he looks kind of funny without a smile. Anyhow, he's cute. Okay, I can see why people make so many of these for markets and stuff, because they're really quick and easy to do. And I mean, if you wanted a bigger bee, you would just increase your rounds. This was only 16. If you get to like 24 or so, you'd have a much larger bee, but he's super cute. All in all, the pattern was okay. There was a couple things I had to kind of figure out on my own. The wings was one of them, but it wasn't terrible. You know, if you have any knowledge of crochet or common sense, really, you could look at the pictures, especially this picture here, because this picture shows like there's like a little indent, you know, that was the center, and the indent kind of goes like down towards the body. So if you look at the photos, and you can kind of figure it out. Anyhow, project number 1, it's not too bad, not too bad. All right. Okay, I feel like I'm just going to plug along here, and I'm going to do another one, because this one is also going to be very small. You know what this is going to be? This is going to be the whale. We got our blue and our white here, and we're just going to start out again with a chain 2, because they're not teaching us how to do a magic ring. So we're going to start out with that. We're going to increase until we get to 18, put in some safety eyes. I don't know, hopefully that will go better. The interesting thing is, here in the pattern, when they're sewing the little body shut, you'll notice they have a metal needle. Thought that was interesting. Yeah, we don't have a metal needle. I mean, I do, but that's not what they provided us with. I don't know, probably has something to do with shipping around. I don't know. Can't ship. No, you can ship pointed objects. Never mind. They're cheaper. I don't know. Well, let's get started with this guy. I had to take my jacket off. I was working up a sweat here. This is work. This yarn is work. Okay, so we got this. Hang on. Where's his eyes? There's his eyes. Okay, there's his eyeballs. We just got a little blue and white ball at this point. So now he needs some tail fins back here. And I think they have us do a little shaping around that. Not shaping, but contouring around the eyes with some white, and then I think he'll be done. All right, so let's get to the tail. Let's get to the tail. I had a knot in my yarn, so I had to cut out some of the blue, but let's do our tail fins. 2 tail fins, kind of like the wings on the bee. So let's get to it. I'll show what they look like when they're done. Okay, well, here's our situation. We had to make a little back fin, this little fin here, and I got one like side fin, okay? So, I mean, he's looking pretty cute as far as that goes. And here's my last fin, and I need 2 more stitches and yarn to sew. All right, let me show you how much blue yarn I've used, like cut off tails, this much. Here's the knot. I had to cut out the knot, and then I had this. That's not enough. I don't have enough yarn to finish the fin. I might finish it in white. I mean, he could have a partially white fin. I don't have any more yarn like this, and I'm not going to go buy yarn. I don't even know where to get yarn like this. I think I'm just going to finish it in white. 2 stitches and sewing, and that's what we're going to do. It might look tacky, but that's what we're going to do. We don't have any choice. All right, here's the little whale guy. He's done. Here's his little tail. Here's his fins. Here's one little fin. It's got some white on it, but, you know, hey, if you've seen a whale before, you know they have markings and stuff. So that's just, he's got some markings. Anyhow, I did some little stuff around his eyes. I'm debating giving him like a great big old smile. I'm working on the bee. I'm giving the bee a smile, but I'm pausing for a minute. I mean, he's going to get a little smile, but I'm pausing because this one eye keeps popping out, and so I've glued it in. So I don't want to tug on it until it's glued. All right, so this is what we got so far. I mean, they're all right, you know. So I have the cat to go, and here's my issue. I didn't even think about it until I was putting the stuff in the box. Now I can't get the lid off. So we got the cat, and we got 2 big balls of the orange yarn. But what I didn't think about is that its face is white, and I only have this for white. I'm a little concerned that I'm not going to have enough white for the face. So as a critique of this whole kit, it's a decent little kit. The pattern's good. I could use the patterns again. How many rounds do I have to do with the white? Let's see. Round 1, round 2. Only 2 rounds? 2 rounds. Okay. Maybe I can make it. I might be able to make it. Okay. Let's cross our fingers that I have enough white to do the cat when I get to the cat. But anyhow, like I said, not a bad kit, but give us more yarn. Come on, yarn, you know, that's the easy part. Give us more yarn. I'll let you know when I get back to the cat at some point. I'm not in a hurry. I'll probably try a different kit before I get back to the cat. So anyhow, stay tuned and see what I come up with next. Okay. I thought I would at least start the cat to see if I had enough white for the cat. Now, I'm here. I've got 13 stitches and I need 20. So, nope. Okay. I have some thick white yarn downstairs. I'm going to go grab it. And just know that this kit does not give us enough yarn. It doesn't give us enough yarn. So we ran out of blue. We almost ran out of black. And I did certainly run out of the white. Not good, not good. Well, I finished the last pattern in the kit. I finished the little cat. However, I did go off script. They wanted to make the ears separate, all the feet separate, and sew them on. And I knew that you could do them in the round. These are just little bobble stitches. So I started the nose with what they wanted, got started here, and then I went to another pattern to finish, to add the ears in, do the body, do the feet as little bobbles as they come up. And I did her tail the way that it said in the book. But so it's a combination of the pattern in the book and a different pattern. So I could have probably done one more round, but I don't think I really needed to. I didn't want to run out of yarn again. So after I did the feet, I did one more full round, and then I started my decreasing to close it up and leave enough for the tail. So I really could have probably done one more round, which would have made it just a little bit longer. And it's fine. It doesn't look like it needs to be any longer. I think it's cute. And then I grabbed some my skinny chenille yarn to do a nose and whiskers, and we called it good. So here was the original face with the white yarn that I ran out of. I had to use Parfait Chunky for this, which is a little thinner than this was. I had some other yarn that was thicker, and I could not, it wasn't working. So I had that, and I had this little tiny bit of yellow left over. I mean, there's quite a bit of yellow left over. I mean, the bee was good except for the black, and then I have that. But I'm not going to keep any of that because I don't want it. I'm never going to use it. But little cat's done. It's cute. It's heavy. It's chunky. It's bigger than any of the cats I made before, of course, because you're using this thicker, like a blanket yarn. It's almost like blanket yarn. Not quite, but almost. It has the same kind of texture as blanket yarn. Not as thick as a blanket yarn, but anyhow. Yeah, bigger cat than I've made before, so I can probably sell that for, you know, a little bit more than I was selling my little loaf cats for. So there we go. We got the cat. We got the bee. I still don't like the mouth on the bee. I might just take it out and just leave it just a bee with two eyes. The rest of it's okay. And then the bee doesn't stand. I might put a keychain on it. I don't know. And then we have the little whale where we ran out of the blue yarn. So those are the 3 projects we got, and they're done. It doesn't want to stand up. Here, there. Let your buddies help you stand up. Anyhow, there's that. Does the whale need a mouth? I don't know. You tell me. Does the whale need a mouth? Does the bee need to take its mouth out? I don't know. Give me your thoughts. All right. So that kit is done. All of them. All the projects done. I do want to check out the little bunny and see how the bunny pattern looks at the end. I might try the bunny pattern with just like my white skinny chenille yarn, my skinny chenille, and see how it turns out. I mean, it's worth a try. I'll do that another time. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know if you enjoyed this kind of a video, because I have plenty of kits that I can test and let you know how they worked out. See you soon.